As guest on the latest episode of the Movie Crypt podcast with Adam Green and Joe Lynch, director Gil Kinnan delved into his career with a significant portion of the discussion focusing on his partnership with fellow director Jason Reitman. And you know, past collaborations, it has led to projects like Saturday Night, the award-winning biographical comedy drama, as well as continuing the Ghostbusters franchise with legacy sequels Afterlife and Frozen Empire. Now, we being Ghostbusters News, of course, we're going to fixate on the Ghostbusters side of the conversation as Kinnan discussed the challenge of balancing nostalgia with storytelling, expressing his belief that it's a generational condition, not an affliction, saying, "The potency of nostalgia is something that we do have to grapple with as storytellers. It's undeniable, it is emotional, it's as triggering as a parental relationship or what we call home. I think this stuff actually matters. When you're telling a story and want to connect with an audience, it is a relationship you cannot ignore. There's a reason we clap when a proton pack charges in a theater. It connects us to something wistful or reminds us of better times, or times that feel like they're in the rearview mirror. I think those things are really important." Sequels, in particular legacy sequels, often spark debate among audiences, with some questioning whether certain franchises or stories should continue or be left as they are. While Kinnan opted not to delve too deep into that debate, he acknowledged the complexities of approaching nostalgia responsibly, emphasizing that his deciding factor is whether there's a story worth telling. "I think if you've got characters with stories to tell, nothing is off the table. Still, as filmmakers, we have a responsibility to be thoughtful about how we use nostalgia and where we push in different directions, even at the cost of that feeling closest to the audience's emotional access. It's a living debate. I don't think there is a definitive right or wrong answer." Reflecting on Ghostbusters Afterlife, where Kinnan did serve as co-writer and producer, he addressed the film's finale, which featured a ghostly Egon Spengler depicting the late Harold Ramis. When asked if he was concerned the scene might not resonate with audiences or might not visually come together, Kinnan would respond, "I think that the truth is, whenever we take leaps like that in storytelling, once you decide this is the path you're going to take in the telling of the story, you kind of have to believe against all odds that you're going to get it over the line, that you'll be able to communicate it to the story. You have to be able to touch that feeling, access that feeling, and believe that a moment as wild and purely cinematic as Egon showing back up is going to work." Kinnan would continue, acknowledging that they had a few advantages in crafting the scene, while also understanding why some might have felt it was a bridge too far. "He's spectral. We weren't trying to make him look like he looked in 1989, you know? This was a look at the character with time, and so there were a few things going in our direction that made it a little bit more manageable. But it was a remarkable feat of storytelling, and I think Jason handled it so well with such a deft touch. I also get that some people thought it was a bridge too far, and you know, that's fine. There are lots of stories for people to engage with, but I'm really proud of that film." Now finally, in discussing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Kinnan revealed a scene that had to be cut due to budget constraints set during the film's opening sewer dragon chase. And not only that, but he did confirm a cut cameo from Impractical Joker's Brian Quinn, who would have manned a New York City tour bus. "We were going to have a New York tour bus operator, you know, the guy up on the second floor of the double-decker, who's sort of commenting on the city as it's going by during the opening chase, the sewer dragon sequence, and it was going to be a quick moment where this guy is like, 'And there goes the Ghostbusters, you know, still busting ghosts.' It was going to show how banal the process of ghost busting had become. The thing is, we ended up not being able to shoot that whole bus because I ran out of money for the sequence and had to find ways to save money. And this bus was a big ticket item, so that had to get cut. So then I just kept trying to find ways to put Brian in the movie, and none of them ever worked out." Now, if you'd like to listen to the latest episode of the Movie Crypt podcast with Adam Green and Joe Lynch, we do have a link to it down below in this video's description. It includes more Ghostbusters insights and a deep dive into Kinnan and Reitman's award-winning Saturday Night. With that said, that's all I've got for you for this one. As always, subscribe. If you'd like to join up with Ghostbusters News, check out our Patreon page. A link to that is also down below, and we'll see you right back here next time.